All right. Spoiler-free review and spoiler-filled review in one fucking review right now. So this is the spoiler-free version. It's gonna last like 5 seconds. You might want to see it. I mean, it's very violent, very disturbing, especially in parts. Some people thought it was a little too slow. I agree with all. So it depends on what. If you can take a slow burn of a movie, definitely drags in certain spots, but it more than makes up for it in others. Trust me. And so I'd say go see it. All right, now tune out if you don't want to know the spoiler filled review. Spoiler filled review. Um, there's a witch in the woods, and she likes to chop baby dick up and babies, and then smear it on her vag and smear it on sticks because that's what witches do. And so, but before all this, Dakota Fanning's sister, who I believe is the main star, long blonde haired girl in this movie, she and her pain in the ass dad are standing before a tribunal at some, I don't know, compound that they had for pilgrims back in the 1600s. Everybody's using the same bad accent that's throughout the entire movie. I mean, it's a good accent, but it's so good that you can't understand a word they're fucking saying. They should have had subtitles in this movie. I'm not even kidding. It was so fast at certain points. Doth thou protest that? Where doth thee? I was like, what the fuck are you saying? I don't understand a word this kid just said. But okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. So dad's like, yeah, I don't like your religious rules. I really know God. I'm into Jesus. I'm a godly man. Fuck all you. I'm taking my family and we're just going to go find a house somewhere. And it turns out you can do that in the 1600s because that's exactly what they do. They find a house in the middle of nowhere. I don't think they even paid for it. They had no money. Fine. So they start living there, and right away, little boy starts staring at his sister's titties. Like every 5 seconds, like there's a shot of, the sister like bending over. She's like dressed like a milkmaid the entire time. And she's like milking the cow or like checking on a horse. And the boy's like, oh, titty. Oh, my sister's got great tits, It's a sister, but kind of gross, but that's what happens. There's two other siblings who are younger who look like midgets playing children, but they are children. Yeah, it's disturbing. They look like midget actors who are playing 6, 7 year olds, but it's not. It's not midgets of any kind. It's just. So anyway, you got those two annoying fucks, a boy and a girl. Got the little baby. Got the older sister and the boy who stares at his sister's titty all the time. So yeah, get out there. Dad's like, this is going to be great. We're going to live a plan. We're going to hunt. It's going to be awesome. The mom's like, let me go pray about it every 5 seconds. Dad's like, me too. I love praying and I know Jesus. So more talking that you don't understand because we're talking that little, New England 1600 dialect that was getting annoying at times. And then oldest sister playing peekaboo with her baby brother. All of a sudden, she peekaboos one time too many and kid is gone. Turns out kid is becoming lunch at the witch's house because next time he is at the witch's house and this bitch cuts his dick off. That's the biggest problem I have with the movie. You don't see it, but she drags the knife across this baby. She kind of massages him too, which was kind of weird. And then she gets by him and she by the crotchish area and it goes dark. And next thing you know, she's doing what all witches do, and that is smearing baby guts all over her stick, which I guess if you're a witch, you need a stick to smear baby guts on. And then she's kind of putting some on her badge and everything else too, and just, decking herself out in baby goo. After cutting the dick off, maybe that gave her extra power. I have no fucking idea. But then, so the family's all hysterical and stuff, so they turn to Jesus, of course, because he's helped them so many times thus far. They're going to get all religious again. And it turns into a whole thing of blaming the blonde girl for pretty much everything after that. It's like, oh, there's a cup missing. Turns out the dad confided into the younger son, you know what? Before we left, I had to sell some shit, and I sold the mom's cup. Don't say anything. I'll get it back someday. And the little boy, it's his dad. They're having out time. It's like, okay, cool, dad. One night at dinner, haven't seen my cup lately. Blonde girl, where is it? I don't know where your fucking cup is. You stole it. I know you did. Because you have long blonde hair. You're a whore. And these two fuckers don't say anything. They let her take the blame for it, and that's ridiculous. So they pray some more. They talk about. There's a scene where the boy and his father walk out in the woods. They talk about redemption and hell, and everybody's going to hell. Everybody's born a sinner. The kid wants to know if he dies, is he going to go to hell because maybe he was baptized and maybe he wasn't. And the dad's like, probably. Just a real fun family, as you can tell. So finally, the father goes to the mother one night. He's like, look, shit's getting bad around here. I don't like it. Let's sell the oldest girl to a family. Let's give her. I mean, we'll get something for her. I mean, she's kind of hot. I mean, the other boy can't stop checking out her tits every 5 seconds. And the mom's like, cool, we'll do it tomorrow. And so the brother, he loves his sister and he loves looking at her titties, so he doesn't want her to go anywhere. So he's like, look, sis, I'm going out tonight into the woods. I'm gonna hunt and get some animals, and things are gonna be cool again. She's like, "My fuck, you taking me with you?" And he's like, "No, I'm not taking you. Fuck you." She's like, "I'll show you my titties." He's like, "Okay, let's go." She didn't really say that, but I think it happened. So she's out in the woods with her brother, and the dog runs off because it's spooked by a spooky cave and runs away. And the sister, like a big dumbass, falls off the horse and gets knocked unconscious. And the boy, while looking for the dog, finds his dead dog, like alive, but like fucking torn to pieces. And he finds the witch's house, except now she's a sexy witch because she cut his brother's dick off and she smeared brother baby guts all over herself, and now she's kind of hot. So, girls, if you don't feel like you look pretty, you might want to find a baby. But anyway, so she comes out of the house, and she was hot for like an 80s stripper, like that kind of, like, looked like she could have been a White Snake video or something like that. She comes out, and this kid's got a lucky Kid of the Year award because not only is he a great actor, not only does he get to stare at this girl's tits the whole movie, but he gets a pretty good makeout session with an adult woman who's a hot 80s stripper, and good for him. And then you see her hand is kind of like an old lady hand and shit like that, so she's like a witch and he's fucked. So blonde girl wakes up, she runs back, she's like, "Oh my god, my brother's gone." They're like, "Well, you probably did it, bitch. We think you're a witch. We know so." So the two annoying kids come around, and they're like the ones who look like midgets. They're like, "Oh, she's a witch. We were talking to our friend the goat, and he told us she's a witch." That should have been your first goddamn clue, that a goat told you that your older sister's a witch. If a goat tells you anything, there's a problem with the goat. Stupid. But of course, the mom doesn't. I think she's jealous of the daughter, and the dad. I don't know what his deal is. He's like, "Please tell me you're not a witch. There are camps. We can send you to camps, and if you say you love Jesus, even if just tell me you're a witch." He's like, "I'm not a witch. Please." Like, this scene really happens. Like, "Please tell me you're a witch. Come on, you can tell. I'll have the elders come. You can tell me you're a witch. We might burn you a little bit alive, but it's cool. You'll be free to Jesus." She's like, "I'm not a witch. Leave me the fuck alone. I know what you did with Mom's cup. You're letting me take the blame for everything. You're blaming me because my brother ran out in the woods." By the way, he does come back, not the same. I don't want to reveal his fate. Oh, yeah, I do. He becomes possessed, wakes up, has a holy orgasm, is what it appeared to me like. He's like, "I love Jesus. I want Jesus." He literally says something like this: "I want Jesus to plant your kisses on my mouth, Jesus." And then he just passes out and dies. I swear that's what happens. And everybody's like, "Oh my god, he's dead too." So automatically, let's blame the blonde girl again, because she was in the room kind of when he died. So it's "You witch bitch, you're a fucking witch. You're the worst thing that's ever happened to us. I hate you." So she knows she's fucked. She's starting to try to figure out, like, I got to get out of here. Finally, the dad has just gone full Shining at this point. It's like, "Listen, I'm gonna lock all three kids up who are remaining in a barn. You figure them out amongst yourselves, who's a witch, who's not, and I'm gonna go over here and chop firewood for a while because I'm really pissed off, and that'll show everybody how pissed off I am." And the mom is busy going insane. Finally, she wakes up in the middle of the night, the mother. This is the night all hell breaks loose, by the way, and she sees her youngest son holding the baby that's missing. So both kids, one that is dead and one that is missing, are both before her again. And they're like, "We have to tell you something. There's a book before you, look at it." So she does, which apparently this book makes her go crazy. It's some Satan book, I guess. I don't know. And she's like, "Well, let me wake your father up so he can see the ghosts of you. He would love it. He really believes in Jesus, by the way." They're like, "No, let him sleep." Next thing, there's a bird chomping at her nipple. She's breastfeeding a bird. Like, she's breastfeeding a hawk that is pulling on her nipple. She seems like she's enjoying it. But this thing is tugging her titty. Like, and so after that same night, back to the three that are locked up so they can say who's really the witch. They argue amongst themselves, and the oldest sister looks at the other two midget kids, and she's like, "Do you really think I'm a witch?" They're like, "Fuck, I don't know." They're like, "Do you think we're witches?" And she's like, "I don't fucking know anymore." Something breaks in the top of the roof of the prison hut that they're being forced in. I know this is how this sounds, but trust me, it actually is pretty good. Morning, Daddy wakes up. Daddy goes, "Hey, where's the mom?" And he's like, "Okay, cool. She's still here. She's still alive. I'm going to go check on the kids that I've locked up in this little prison hut I built outside because I can't trust anybody around this motherfucker anymore." As he gets up, the mom wakes up and, nipples bleeding. Nipples bleeding. This is a big bloody patch. She's just like... So he gets up, goes out, sees the blonde girl lying in the debris of what was the prison cabin he built. The other two kids, I think they were dead. There was like blood and guts everywhere, and a bunch of other animals were dead. And then he's like, "Oh my god, this bitch is a fucking witch. I'm going to kill her right now." But before he can even do that, the pet goat, turns around and is like, "No, motherfucker." It turns out the whole time, it was me. I really am the devil's little pet, and there really are witches in the woods. But guess what? I gotta charge you now and gore you with my fucking horn. So sorry about that, dude. And he proceeds to just totally fucking kill the dad. He gores him over and over and over. So the girl's screaming. She's like, "Oh my god, daddy!" This girl's the worst luck ever. She runs over her dead daddy who's covered in blood. And she's like, the mom comes out, sees the dead, bloody daughter, bloody dad's like, this bitch is nothing but bad news. I gotta kill this bitch right now. So she's like struggling with her and shit like that. She's like, you're a witch. I hate you, and I know you probably wanted to fuck your dad and brother. She says something to that effect too. And the girl's like, what the fuck's wrong with this family? So she throws her on the ground, and the girl has a knife. That's the weird part of the movie. Where'd she get the knife? She didn't have a knife going into that hut. When he threw all the kids into the cabin, he's like, listen, sort it out amongst yourself. I'm going to build this little prison hut until the morning. I'll figure out what's going on. But right now it's a nightmare. I don't remember her taking a knife in there. That was the weird, whatever. So whenever she had a knife, she drops it during this cat fight with her mom. And then she takes the knife, gashes her mom over the head, blood spewing all over her. The mom dies, and she just fucking whacks her a few more times with the knife because she just can't take it. She has lost her fucking mind at this point. So she gets up, she goes, sits at a picnic table like anybody would do after a murder in the shed. She's sitting there, she's like, oh my god, I'm gonna go ask the goat if he's really a devil's adversary. She goes out to the barn and she's like, talk to me the way you talk to the midget kids that are really annoying in this movie. And at first nothing happens. All of a sudden the goat's like, what do you want from me? They don't show the goat talk, which is a good idea because it would look really stupid, but it sounded really creepy. She's like, what can you offer me? And he's like, well, would you like to fly and be a witch, you evil bitch? And she's like, yeah, it sounds sweet. I mean, my whole family's dead, and I'm just a fucking pain in the ass, apparently, and everybody's calling me a witch anyway. Fuck it. Make me a witch, asshole. Do it. So some dude walks behind her and, like, blesses her and tells her, take off your robe. I want to see the titties your brother's been staring at. She's like, okay. So she's covered in blood, and she's kind of humbled there, and he's like, now go, follow the evil goat into the woods. So the goat and her walk in the woods. She walks in the woods butt naked and finds a coven of witches on the hill, all naked. Maybe they found more babies to kill and smear all over themselves, and dancing with sticks. And she is officially like a witch now. And last thing you see is her transforming into a witch as she's floating up into the sky butt naked. Period. Done. And yes, I still like the movie. I thought it was really well done.